Hi everyone, it's Sally, aka Crafting Gal Sal, and I'm here to show you how I put together this cute little 3-page card. I don't really know what else to call it. I just kind of came up with the design on my own the other day, playing with some scrap paper that I had left. But anyway, so this is the finished product of the card. And as you can see, it's got this little front flap. I've got it decorated with sending love. Cut out a little stamped coffee mug or tea because I'm sending tea. I've got tea stuck to the inside flap. I used some repositional glue dots for that. And then I have this Your Tea-rific stamp that I colored and stuck there, and then you open it up and this is just the interior of the card where you would write, you know, whatever you wanted to write to the person that's receiving it. So anyway, I'm going to show you what I did. It all started, I had a piece of paper that I made for the other card. It was left over from some things I was making for Valentine's Day, and when I came into my craft room and saw it sitting there, I just started folding it and playing with it, and I came up with this design. So I used that last piece of paper, so I had to find some other paper to do this tutorial for, and so I decided to look in one of my paper pad books that I never get any paper out of, and found this beautiful orange paper with the medallions on it and the pretty blue. So all the paper that I used for this card came from that paper pad, which is the best way to find coordinating papers, I find. So anyway, what you need is, you're going to need, this is on an A2 card base, but I cut it. I cut the A2 card base down. So this is, I'll show you what I did. Here's just a regular size A2 card base. That here's the fold. So I just cut 2 inches off of that card base, and that gives me my card base for this 3-page card. So as you can see, there it is. All right, so now this new size is 4 1/4 inches by 3 1/2 inches, and this is the folded side. So 4 1/4 by 3 1/2 inches. That's your card base. The next thing that you're going to need for this card is you'll need a solid piece. So when I found this paper, I knew I wanted to bring this pretty blue in as my solid. So here's my solid piece of blue. For this card, I cut 2 of them. I cut one for this part of for this page, and I cut another one for that page. But for today's demonstration, I'm just going to use one. So anyway, this background paper, your solid, should be cut at 4 inches by 3 1/4, 3 1/4 inches that direction. Okay, so for today's card, I'm just using one. Now this is eventually going to go on the front of your card base, like that. But before you put that down, we need to make this little flap. Okay, so that's where this comes in. I'm going to move some of my supplies out of the way. That's where your pattern paper comes in handy. Okay, so this is going to become the front page of this 3-page book. All right, so what you do is you take this 3 inch by 3 1/2 inches. This is 3 inch by 3 1/2 inches. I'm sorry, 3 inches this direction, sorry, by 3 1/2 this direction. And I just folded this short side in about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to do that. I did not measure to get an exact for you, but it's about 1/2 inch fold, like that. Okay, so now this is going to be tucked like this onto the brown or blue paper, and that creates your first page, that flap. Okay, so it'll all get glued down right here on the front of your card. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do my gluing, and then I will get back to you and we'll finish decorating the rest. Okay, I have it glued down to my card base now, and as you can see, I've got my front fold, my first page, my second page, which is actually the front of your card, and then the inside of the card. All right, now this piece also came from the same paper pad, and it is cut 2 inches. It's a 2-inch square piece. And I just decided that I liked it placed this way on the front of my card, so I'm going to glue that there. As you can tell that I've gone around the outside edge of all of my pieces with a coordinating marker. I use an alcohol marker, and I've gone around all the edges, all the raw edges of my paper, just to give it a nice finished look. All right, so there's that. Just gives it a little more pop, something to put my other things on the front of it. So these are my CaliArt brand alcohol markers. I love them, and I'll give you a link to where you can buy these on Amazon below my video in the comments or in the information. Okay, so here's this part. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is put my sentiment on the front. And when I made my first card, I used the same stamp, Sending Love. And when I mounted it just on the one piece of cardstock, I felt like it was still a little flimsy. So I wanted to put something behind it, and I decided to stagger it like this one, just for visual effect. So I have this other sheet of paper that also came from the same paper pad. It's the same orange that's used in the patterned paper, and I just cut it the same exact size as this front rectangle. Okay, so it just depends on what you're going to stamp and what your sentiment is as to how big yours will be. But mine is about, this is 2 1/4 inches long. Okay, so I just staggered it this way and then placed it on this front diamond so that it just kind of hangs out over the edge but doesn't come clear to the end, as you can see this card. All right, so now I'm going to put some glue on here and get it glued down. I want it bottom left. You could use two-sided tape if you like to work with that. Because I'm not real straight all the time, kind of like to use a liquid glue because it gives me a little wiggle room. Although this glue I'm using here dries very quickly, so you have a little bit of wiggle room, but not for very long. So there's that. And now this is going to go here, but so that I know about how far to put it in, to put it on my card, I'm going to flip it over. I'm holding it tight, and I'm flipping it over, and I'm just going to take my pen and kind of mark right there on the paper, on the back of that paper, so I know where to put my glue and where to end it. And then when I put it on here, it'll help guide me to when I go to place it. So I'm just going to put my glue on here. place it right here. I can just line it up and center it. There's my line. And it should be, yep, looks good. Should be pretty close to where I want it. Just kind of hold that down a little while till it's fastened pretty good. So there's that. And you can see it just kind of flaps up. All right, the next thing you don't really want that ink mark to show. Probably would have been a better idea to use a pencil, and that way I could erase it. So there's that. The next thing that I'm going to put on is my little coffee mug or tea mug. I just stamped this using this Stampin' Up! Stamp that my sister gave me, and I imagine this is either a late 1990s stamp, maybe early 2000s. It doesn't have the date on there, but I have some others that have a similar type of heart on them, and they say 1997. So that's how old these stamps are. But you could use anything. I mean, for mine, I'm sending a tea bag, so I just thought this was appropriate. But I mean, you could put a seed packet back here. You could send anything really in it that's flat and that would fit on this space. Anyway, I chose this little mug and I just colored it in. I used, for this one, I used my little El Cheapo Crayola colored pencils to color that in, and then I put a little shine on it using a Jelly Roll glitter gel pen. This one I used Cali Art markers on, so just depends on, you know, what your mood is for that day. So anyway, I'm going to place this coffee mug right here, and I'm trying to keep it as flat as possible. You could pop it out if you wanted to with dimensionals, but you know, I want to send this in the mail, and I'm just trying to keep it kind of flat because it's already going to have a tea bag in there. And then just place it on there like that. I chose blue because of the blue background that I'm using for this card. All right, there's that. So we're really close to being done, and then I just added some gems in various areas there. Now the inside, just open it up, and you should have room for a tea bag over on this side. Here's my tea bag, and since it's a little tall, I went ahead and folded it down like that. And then I just put some, like I said, some repositional glue dots on the back and stuck it right there to the front of this card, or to the front of the card. And then I just used this cute little Your Tea-rific stamp and the tea bag stamp that I had. I have no clue where I got that from, but that's what I have on the inside. And I positioned it so that you can't see this until you open up that first page. And if you just put it right in the middle, you should be good. You won't be able to see it. There we go. Open it up, now you can see it. And then, like I said, on the inside, you could write your sentiment. On the first one that I did, I just took this and stamped one more time on the inside, but I didn't color it and sent it away that way. I thought that way who received the card, if they wanted to, they could cut that stamped image out and use it for themselves. But anyway, that's how I did this cute little 3-page card. Again, I have no idea what to call it, but I like it. I like the size. It fits just fine inside an A2 envelope. Here's an A2 envelope, and it's small, it's smaller, so it fits just fine inside there and is simple to mail out. So that's my tutorial on this card. I hope you enjoyed watching. I really hope that you give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And until the next time, happy crafting. Goodbye.